Okay, so I was going to wait until episode 4 of Crime Scene The Vanishing at the Cecil Motel, but like it literally just read me for Phil for my first commentary. Like it went down every and was I think the episode was called Going Down the Rabbit Hole. It literally went down the rabbit hole of every idea I had, except for, Mitrice Richardson. But there was a lot of the intersectional things I was thinking about where there's, race, poverty, drugs, crime, neglect, all these things, struggle happening in this sort of vortex of a place. And it might appear supernatural when it's really just harsh reality. And, but it really it did like the conspiracy theory side of it, like it one upped that with some really interesting things that the conspiracy theorists sort of track down or piece together. um, and I think this is a really interesting track Netflix is going down, where it's about crowdsourcing um, to solve crimes. Like I've always been obsessed with the movie and the show Minority Report, where there were these precognitive beings that were like living in this like soup, and it brought up all these like ethics of like crime and innocence and pre and Menace Rea, and like how we look at crime and um victims, and the whole idea of crime and punishment. Um, but there is this thing happening now where there used to be sort of like a mob justice that like we saw even recently, but uh, now with this crowdsourcing of internet sleuths deep diving on solving a crime, we are getting other answers to criminal activity, but we're also being on the way. I think there's a phrase for this. It's like I forgot what it was, and it always came up with Donald Trump. Like on the way to do something awful, you stumbled upon something good. Like there are clues to um, other, you know, let's say nefarious, malicious, demonic entities that have intersected with the Cecil Hotel around the time of Elisa's, death, and even just her stay there, just around the timing. There's a really interesting tangent about the tuberculosis scare, and I'm not going to do any spoilers, but that was another part of the intersectionality about that I was pointing out about race and crime and drugs and neglect. It's like they make a point to say like there's this like really real controversial thing that's going on conspiratorially. There are several ways that there are synchronicities of why you might tie these things to her, why this could be something that affected her or she could have been affected by, including like I called it a center of crisis that allowed them not to hear her screams, allowed them not to see she was in danger, allowed her not to know she was in such mortal danger. Um, but yeah, episode 3. I feel like you should watch it from episode 3 and then go backwards and forward. Matter of fact, like just start with episode 3 because episode 3 turns it turns it out.